Prosperous 2025, y'all. Prospero año. I am so excited to be here. Another year. Let me tell you, I would not be as excited about 2025 had I not had the interesting 2024 that I did. Now, there were a lot of highlights. Of course, y'all saw them on social media. We always show the highlights. We don't often show the lowlights because that's just the way it is, right? You deal with your private struggles privately, and you identify how to get out so that publicly you can make strides and get that win, right? That W. And so that's what happened in 2024. It got me ready for 2025. It really did. And I'm going to share more about some of those private struggles that I endured in 2024 throughout the year. So definitely tune in to Tea and Talk Tuesdays. I welcome you. Yes, the first Tuesday of the year. I welcome you to the show. I welcome you to listen in. I look forward to having some guests on and things like that in this upcoming year. And I definitely look forward to having my tea. My mug this week says, live in grace, walk in love. Live in grace, walk in love. Yes, you got to do both. You got to do both. If you're going to make it in this world with a positive mindset, with a growth mindset, you have to live in grace and walk in love. So let me ask y'all a question. Be honest. How many of y'all been starting your business for a long time? Now, how many years? You know, like, is it 1 year, 2 years? Like, put it in the chat. 10 years, 20 years. I'm not judging. This is a no judgment zone. This is simply a question. And when I say starting your business, I am talking about your ministry. I'm talking about your outreach. I'm talking about your nonprofit work. I'm talking about your LLC business, like whatever it is that you are supposed to be doing that you've been telling people you're going to do for up 10 years. How many years has it been? I want to know. And the reason why I want to know is because a lot of times what happens is that we start the new year and we come up with all these new year goals, resolutions, vision boards, action boards. Now people are doing action boards. And we come up with all of these things, but we don't pay attention to what it was that we did the last year. So my question for you is, what is on your list this year? As a matter of fact, is starting your business on your list? Because a lot of things we say a lot of things, a lot of times that we want to do it, we're going to do it, and we're going to speak it into existence, and we're going to claim it, and we're going to name it, all these things that people say. But faith without works is dead. So did you even write it down? Did you even write the vision down and make it plain? Did you write it on a list? Did you start the vision by writing it down on a list? Never mind the whole strategy of how you're going to get there. Did you at least put it down as a thing to do this year? A lot of times people say they're going to start a business, they're going to write a book, they're going to do whatever. And they don't even write it down as something that they are going to do. The other day, my daughter was in the dining room and she had all her stuff out. And I'm like, girl, she had this loud talk, you know, somebody on YouTube talking and stuff. And it was very inspiring, but it was very loud. And I said to her, what are you doing? And she said, oh, I'm getting my stuff together. I'm writing in my journal and I'm doing this. And she was getting it all together. Like, I got a plan this year. She got a vision board, beautiful vision board. I'm not going to show it to you because I didn't get her permission to show it. And she's not home at the moment. But she did a beautiful vision board. And she actually was like, look, she got her journal. She got her to do her planner. And she is outlining exactly what it is that she plans to accomplish this year. But let me tell you something. She didn't get that information on her own. She purchased her mama book. Yes, she did. My child bought a book from me, Mission Rich and Profit Power. She purchased the book. She's read the book. And she's learned from the book. And because she read the book and she believed in it, she saw it in action. She saw what I was doing. She saw the things that I put in place. Some things that I have not shared yet, y'all, but I can't wait to share with y'all this year. She was like, yeah, I got to do what she's talking about. So I want to say to you, you need to get you a book. If you didn't get a book already, you need to get you a book. MissionRichAndProfitPowered.com. It's a very small investment for a very big return as far as the things that you will accomplish when you learn some of the strategies that I talk about that I gained through 30 years of working in the human services field and working with nonprofits and different organizations and businesses. Now, back to the story. What is on your list this year if you have one? So some people, I told y'all the first group, you didn't even write it down. Now, if you did write it down and you made a list of things that you want to accomplish, such as starting your business or going back to school or doing some type of training, signing up with a coach, whatever it is, doing weight loss programming. I mean, these different things that we set out as goals, like we're going to change, we're going to do better. What is on your list that was not on your list last year? And the reason why this is very important is because, first of all, did you have a list that you can check back to know, are you just putting things in place because you're randomly pulling it out of your mind, or you saw it somewhere, you saw it on YouTube or TikTok or wherever, and now you realize this is something you want to focus on? I talk about it so heavily in the book about having activatable passion. And activatable passion is something that transpires from a continuous commitment to something. And the reality is that if you have something on your list last year and you did not accomplish it, and you didn't put it on your list for this year, is it because you didn't care that much about it? Like, why is it not on your list this year? And if it is on your list again this year, why is it on your list again this year? The next question is like, what happened? Why is it still on your list? Because at the end of the day, if it's still on your list and you did not accomplish it, was it on your list the year before too? How long has it been on your list? You have to ask yourself, why is it still on your list? If weight loss goal is still on your list for 3 or 4 years, why? Is it because you didn't put forth the effort? Is it because you didn't go to the gym? Is it because you didn't change up your diet? Is it because you didn't do research to find out why your body is responding the way that it is? Because sometimes our bodies are not going to respond to exercise alone or just changing our diet alone. Sometimes we actually have to invest in alternative health or some other type of practice, or taking the time to go to the doctor and do research with them and say, hey, like, I need this kind of test done because I need to know what's going on. Because this don't make sense. It could be a thyroid issue and you're sitting over here running in the gym thinking you're going to lose weight, and it's really a hormonal imbalance, right? So you want to make sure that's easy to understand when it comes medically, right? The same thing with, why didn't you start your business yet? Why is your nonprofit still in your head and not in action? Okay? You got to ask yourself that, because at the end of the day, there's a reason why. So I had to learn the reason why my book was sitting in my head for 5 years and 6 years and not done was because I needed somebody to help me to figure out why my book was still in my head and not done. And so it was divine connection that I came across the right person at the right time, and they were able to pour into my spirit, and I was able to sign up for their program, and they became my coach and were able to teach me the frameworks of how to get it out of my head and get it in action. And it's the same thing that happens when you have a business, nonprofit, ministry, whatever you want to start. A lot of times it's like, look, I know it can be done. I've seen people do it. I've seen people get funding for it. I've seen this, I've seen that. But I don't know how to do it. And the reality is, because you shouldn't get somebody that can help you to get there. So if that's something that you're that person that you're like, yeah, that's me, definitely hit me up in the DM or put it in the comments like, yeah, that's me, so that we can have a conversation. We can set up a time for a complimentary conversation for us to be able to outline what it is. Why is this happening? And is there something that we can do together to get you from a place of having it in your head to actually having it in action, having it done, being able to look at the work and say, wow, this is amazing. Well done, right? And so what should your list really look like? What should your list really, really look like? Well, number one, let's be clear. A list doesn't have to be just a piece of paper that you sit down and make bullet like lines. I mean, most people are going to say, duh, that's a list. But no, that's not what I'm talking about when I talk about your list. When I talk about your list, what I'm saying is not throw everything on there, but what are 3 things that are very important to you? Maybe 4. I wouldn't do more than 5. What are the top 5 things or less that you need to accomplish this year? And I would do it by category versus very specific. Because then you get into the details of something, and once you accomplish it, and you feel like, well, what am I supposed to do now? But if you do something very like almost like pillars, to say, for example, one of the things is I want to be healthier this year. The next thing is I want to start my business or my nonprofit that God put in my heart. The next thing might be I want to have healthy balance with family, work, and life, right? Another thing that I talk about a lot. You might say, I want to have better finances. I want to do better with my finances and be a better steward. I want to be a better steward of my finances. I also want to be a better steward of my time, because some people are really great at their finances, but they're tired, they're wore out, they're burned out, borderline overwhelmed, spazzing on people because they're tired and worn out because they don't do a good job of stewarding their time. So, and maybe the 5th one might be self-care, right? Taking care of yourself, not just maintenance, not just going to get your nails done and things of that nature, or getting your hair done, but really thinking about, how do I take care of myself for the long haul? How do I ensure that my mental, emotional health is okay, right? So now you have your 5 things. And those are 5 things that I gave you that I focus on very consistently. Then from there, each month, what am I doing to make sure that I am focused on that? And as a matter of fact, before I think each month, I'm thinking each week. So what am I doing each week to make sure that my finances are okay? Well, first thing is I'm checking out I'm downloading something like Rocket. It's not Rocket Mortgage. I forget. Quicken or something like that. Used to be Quicken. Now you're going to make me go on my phone and see what it is, because I like to share these kind of things to make sure that I'm giving you the right information. Rocket Money. I was close. Rocket Money. So I use the Rocket Money app, and I have other things that I use, like QuickBooks Online, right? Just different things like that, so that I can look at, what am I spending? And am I spending things the way that I should spend it? Are there areas where I can figure out how to do it better, right? So I'm asking myself these questions so that I can be very intentional about strategy. Now, anybody who knows me, anybody who's read my book, anybody who interacts with me, anybody who has worked with me knows I am a very strategy specific person. I do not believe in doing things by happenstance. I do not believe in just getting up and randomly making choices. I believe in strategy. And so for every single pillar on your list, everything that you put, there needs to be a strategy that accompanies those things. But you can't get to strategy if you don't ask yourself questions. Now, when I say strategy, I am not telling you to go and do a strategic plan that's 45 pages for every single thing. That is not at all what I'm telling you to do. Simple thing for me is, I have a strategy that I need to be able to see everything so that I can make the decisions. I have everything connected on my calendars, right? And I use something called Trello. And I love it because, first of all, my coach introduced it to me a few months ago, like 5 months ago now. And I was really impressed with the way that I could see everything much clearly, right? Than when I could see it before. I had my Google stuff and whatever, and that was okay. But as you elevate, some things need to tweak. So on my list last year would have been get more organized. On my list this year is going to say get more organized. Not because I didn't do a good job of getting more organized last year, but because there's another level for me to get to, because now I'm at another level in life. I'm at another level in my business. I'm at another level in my ventures that I'm engaged in the different work that I'm a part of, and in my family or my church, I'm at another level. So every time you get to another level, you have to really tweak how it is that you respond to things and how you move forward with things. And that could mean streamlining things. That could mean automations you need to add to your life. Yes, your personal life as much as your business life. And it could also mean simple things like saying, hey, I got to cut back on some things. There were some boards that I really, really love being a part of, but I just didn't have the capacity to be a part of those boards. I just did it. I had to let them know, like, I'm sorry, I can't do this anymore. I love the work. I will definitely support you in other ways. I just don't have the capacity of my time anymore to do this. I had to set boundaries on my time. I had to set boundaries on my phone calls, how late somebody can call me or reach out to me or text me and things of that nature. What my social media interactivity was going to be. How many hours am I going to be on social media? What time am I getting up? What time am I going to bed? Why? Because I moved to a different level. Now, some of y'all might say, look, I don't need to be stressing about what time I'm going to bed because I need to figure this out. And that's fine. I'm not telling you that what I do, you need to do exactly. What I'm saying is you need a strategy so that next year you're not having the same exact issue that you have this year, and that you're able to accomplish things that you have not yet accomplished, so that you can feel a sense of accomplishment, a sense of uh, achievement. You can feel a sense of gratitude because you see yourself winning. When you make a list, you get to look back and realize, I am a winner. I am victorious. I set a plan and I have been killing it. When you don't make a list, you get caught up in all the things that's happening in the world, and you get frustrated because you got challenges upon challenges, and all you do is focus on the challenge instead of focusing on the wins. So the list helps you to focus on the wins. Every single day you wake up, you are reminded that there are things that I am accomplishing, there are things that I am doing, and you are also reminded that there are people who are out there that can help you to achieve those goals. And so if there's some of these things as we get ready to wrap up that we talked about today, and you're like, hey, LaTonia, I want to know more. I have aspirations of being a better leader. I want to lead my company with more empathy. I want to lead my company with more confidence and understand better the layout and what it is that we need to do from the ground up. You may say, hey, look, LaTonia, I want to better understand how to get access to funding and be attractable because right now we're really struggling. You may also say, hey, I am in a situation where I'm working so many hours and doing so much that I can't find the time to spend with my children. I can't find the time to spend with my spouse. I want to figure it out. Those are things that you can reach out to me for. Definitely message me if that is the case for you. Otherwise, I want to just hear like what your stories are as to what it is that you're going to do in this year, whether or not you have new goals that you set or whether or not you're building on goals that you did last year, and whether or not you've been able to identify why some of those goals you set last year were not accomplished. Okay? So that is it. I am going to continue sipping on my tea, and I want y'all to have a great rest of your day. Peace.